Hello, folks. Welcome to the channel where I talk about web, node, and developer productivity related tools. In continuation to the last video, I'm going to give you a little bit more details of what all aliases I use in my Git. And then we are going to talk about two more tools today. One is called as espanso, and other is called as flycut. So let's dive into the aliases the aliases which I use in my Git workflow. So I'll go to gist. I have already created a gist onto my profile. Here it is. And I have defined all my aliases here. If you want to use the same aliases I use, I have given the instructions here, and you can simply go and follow the instructions, and they should ideally start working for you. Okay, so here are a couple of more aliases that I wanted to emphasize on. Uh, so these are three that I quite often use, and then GCL is another one that I quite often use. So now suppose I want to clone some repository. So let me go to my GitHub profile and let's try to clone maybe this repository. Okay. Uh, So let's copy this, and now what I'll do is I'll simply go back, even go back one more directory, and I'll say GCL. I'll simply paste it here. Okay. I have my SSH configured here, so I'll not go into those details. Maybe I'll do a video on how to use multiple GitHub accounts on same machine. I'll do another video on that. Okay. So for now, let's assume that this is going to clone this particular repository. Okay. Now, why I created this alias, right? So if you see the alias, what it is doing is it is basically getting the directory name. Okay. It is cloning the given URL. So this thing is going to be $1, the whole URL, and then it again goes inside this. So why I did is I was just scanning through my history of my shell, and I realized that okay, whenever I do a git clone, I basically do a cd again into that directory immediately after doing the clone. So instead of doing that in two steps, I did it in one step. And then there is a built-in alias that comes in from ZSH, my ZSH's Git plugin. I had to unalias that so that I can define my own alias, right? So that's one. Other is this squash last. So suppose now, let's go to TIG. It shows me that there are some commits, right? Now suppose that I want to merge these two commits. So what I can do is, instead of every time running git rebase uh, hyphen I head tilde 2, I can simply say squash last 2, right? And then I can come here and I say uh, squash this one, right? And I can save this. Uh, so now you can see that I haven't specified my identity here. That's the reason it's failing, right? Now, suppose I came into such situation, I want to reset it, right? So I can simply come here and say reset hard, right? Uh, it ideally should have got reset hard. Okay, because it's not on branch, I'll have to first say, yeah, so let's continue by doing this. So I'll add this, and I'll add this one too. Okay. Now when I say grbc, it is rebased, right? And it is saying that my branch is behind the original branch. So let's go and take a look at this. Uh, so now what has happened is it has actually merged my last two commits. Ideally, it should have. Maybe uh, yeah. So now I don't want to push, right? So I can simply say reset, right? And it is again back to where it was, right? So if I go to this, it is again at the origin master. Uh, Let me know if you want me to make a video on what is origin, what is master, what is only master, what is origin slash master, what is head, about Git. You can leave a comment down in the description section, and if you really want such video, maybe I'll in the next video I'll talk more details about all those things, right? So these are very common aliases I use. And then there are a couple of more. So suppose I want to remove my last commit, right? So I can say uncommit. Instead of every time typing git reset head tilde one, I can simply say uncommit, right? And my last commit is now gone, right? Again, I can do reset hard, and everything is fairly back, right? Suppose I want to add some more files to my last commit, right? So let's go to this, uh, and then I can edit some file here, right? So I can edit this particular file. I'll edit this, save this, uh, to a status. I have one modified file. I want to actually push it to the last commit itself. So I can say recommit, right? And oh, okay, I have to add. Let's say recommit, right? It has actually committed that file in my last commit. So if I go to tick in the last commit, it has this particular change here, right? It says that this particular line was removed. Now let's go again and say reset hard. Everything is back. I can go here, check the commit. There is no change in the ESLint RC JSON. All the changes are gone. That's pretty easy, and it's easy because it's in very layman English term, right? It's not a command anymore. It's very easy to understand English language grammar thing, right? That's the reason I really like to create these aliases. That's all I had on Git and Git related things. You can leave comments if you want a particular video just focusing on Git and how to eventually manage your Git related workflow. Okay, so coming back to the other two tools that I mentioned in the beginning, one is called as flycut. I use this because I like to basically copy one thing from one file and move to other. So suppose I want to copy multiple things from one file, right? So I want to copy this line, so I copy this line. I want to copy this line, I'll copy this line. And I want to paste these two lines somewhere in the new file. So if I don't have flycut, what I'll have to do is I will copy this from here, paste it here, again go here, copy this, come here, paste it here, again go back and copy and paste. So that's two row thing actually is very time consuming and mechanical. So instead of that, what you can do is you can install this flycut, copy multiple things. So I'll copy this, copy this, copy this. I copied three lines, right? I can come here, copy the last line, copy the next line, and this, right? It's pretty easy. It saves a lot of time for me, and again, if I miss, miss something, I can anytime go here and look for what was copied, and I can simply come here and even paste it here, right? So that's pretty easy. These tools are called as clipboard managers. If you don't like flycut, you can use whatever you want, but I'll recommend flycut. uh, and the shortcut to open flycut is command shift V on Mac. On Linux, you can go ahead with copy Q. I'll leave the link to that as well. Okay, the next very interesting tool is called as Espanso, right? Espanso. What it does is it helps you create triggers so that you can expand your show shortcuts into bigger things, like, so one example is if I do colon L3, it goes to localhost 3000, right? So how did this happen, right? So that's happening via something called as espanso. Okay, it is available on Linux, Mac, and everywhere. So if I go to espanso RC, there is something called as espanso config, right? And here you can see I have all my aliases here, right? So if I want to add my site somewhere, right, or even open my site, I can simply come here and say my site and press enter, right? Instead of typing whole this technical 314.netlify.app, I can simply come, say my site, and boom, it's ready. I simply press enter and I get it, right? So it's pretty easy to configure, uh, and it's pretty neat. I really like it. You can give a trigger, what's the replacement text for it, and it is very easy. I'll leave the link to this one as well. Uh, just be sure that you are not specifying a very obvious trigger, right? So if I have to give an example, HTTP colon slash slash. So colon slash should not be your trigger, right? I would recommend to it's the recommendation from the sponsor team that your trigger should start with a colon, and then you should give some friendly name to the trigger. Like in this case, I have given my email sign, my site, my name, my Gmail, or something like that, right? So that's pretty handy in my opinion. Instead of typing your frequently used things, so suppose I want to send my email ID to someone, right? I can simply come here and say my Gmail, right? And press enter. I can send this on WhatsApp or anywhere, right? It works pretty much everywhere. So if I come here and say my Gmail, it works everywhere because it deals with your keystrokes rather than any editor or anything, right? So that's pretty easy. Uh, yeah, that's all I had for this video. It was very short and sweet video, I guess. Uh, if you really like the video, you want some specific content, you want to learn something specific, leave a link down in the comment section, and I'll make sure that I make a video on that particular section or topic you want. That's all for today. See you in the next one. Thank you.